and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only like 11 people alive of the 200-something crew, and the entire ship was rotting down to the waterline. That's destiny. That's will. That's striving. That's being a trailblazer and explorer. Going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe. It's all there. Life is fiery with its beauty. It's incredible detail. Tuning into it. They want to shatter your mind. Talking about Justin Bieber.
Hello out there. Well, that was right on cue. We're on the air. Happy hump day, everybody. Let's get to humping. This one's titled The Day Everyone Buys Bitcoin. And I got a special little treat for you. Hopefully you like treats. A special little treat. We'll see. Although I see something not so good right now is Noster's not working. Again, back-to-back days. So I'll maybe try real quickly here to try to get something going. But if not, we'll just have to push on, unfortunately. Tough days without Zapstream, that's for sure. But even yesterday, without Zapstream, people still showed up. People still supported. But it just makes it, I don't know, just different when it's on Zapstream. I don't know why. But anyways, so let's go create stream. Good enough. Hump day. Hump day. Hump day. Okay, URL. Maybe the URLs I need to update or something. We'll try it. We'll try real quick here. URL. We got the stream key. Bingo. Bango, bongo. We'll even call this one bongo today. Okay, let's try it out. Probably won't work, but we'll give it a shot at least. How about that? So welcome to everybody who's usually on Noster, but on Rumble or YouTube today. We are on all three places, or I guess not three places. We're on Kick too. So we are on three places. Kick, shout out to Kick. I don't know if we've ever had anybody on Kick. We had like one guy one time on Kick. But we are here on the YouTubes and we're on the Rumbles. So far, oh, I guess I got to add that too. Just hang on. So let me add that. We set it up, edit. Bongo's not on here no more or what? Okay, let's just try this. Let's raw dog it. CF. I don't know if that's the right one. We'll give her a go. We're just flying by the seat of our pants here, you know? You know how it is. Okay, let's see if that works. And I should maybe top this up. I don't know. It says we got a balance, but apparently it's not working. We'll top it up here. Let's see. Anyways, how's everybody doing? Good to see. We got a lively chat. I see a ton of people over in Rumble today. I think there was over 35 people when I checked it out this morning, right before the show. So that's pretty impressive. Shout out to Rumble. Shout out to the rednecks over on Rumble. Let's try that. Sent. Oh, I guess I got to hit save. Jeez Louise. Bongo, you working? We'll see. We'll see if Bongo works today. Tomorrow, I'm not going to remember that I call it Bongo, and I'll be like, where the hell's the Zapstream? No. So it must be an issue on Zapstream then. Oh, well. It is what it is. We tried our best. We just had to confirm that it wasn't on our end, and it's not. So anyways, good to see everybody here. We got Praetorian in the house. You can send some support if you want to. If you're usually on Zapstream, zapping, you can send it to Arnie Boy right there. Or, like a lot of people did yesterday, you can send it to our Rizful which is connected to our Noster. jor@rizfold.com. Very easy one. It's kind of key to a good Lightning address, I think, in my opinion, is very short and sweet. Just like emails, you know? You ever had to enter an email address in where they're like telling it to you and you're like, I don't know what that word is. There's like 5 numbers. There's an underscore. Is it a dash? Is it a slash? Is it a mash? So you want to keep it as simple as possible. And we're kind of lucky because most people haven't really figured out what's going on yet here in the world. And so you can still get pretty good Lightning addresses, whether it's Rizful, Walda Satoshi, Koinos. You can get pretty good ones like this one, jor@rizful.com. Like, how could you get easier than that? You can't. I guess J@rizful would be easier, but then they'd be like, well, is it J or is it J-A-Y? J-A-I? So Jor, Jor@rizful.com. Since Zapstream's trying to rip us off here today. Anyways, let's get to her here. What else we got? Praetorian first in the chat today. First in the chat. Who's number 2? Sketch, Occasion, Rich, all the way across the pond in Ireland, our second favorite country. Besides, actually, you know, the older I get, the younger I get. The older I get, the younger I get. Does that make sense? No, the older I get, the more, the less connected I am to like countries. You know what I mean? I feel like countries is like, I don't know. Growing up, it was such a big deal. You're like, oh, I'm Canadian. I hate the US. We're the best. They're the worst. And, you know, it's just like, it's all part of the system. It's all meant to divide. It really is. And we just kind of got to anchor back to all being humans. We're all humans here. Doesn't matter if you're from Canada or the US or Ireland. I mean, it's good to be proud, but what are you proud of? I guess that's what you got to ask yourself, right? We grew up being proud because our great grandpas fought for our freedom, which, you know, once you understand the monetary system and what the wars were really about, it's like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have been, obviously, like, I'm not saying that I don't have a ton of respect for people who fought for their country. I do. You'll have a hard time finding a guy who has more respect for the Canadian veterans, the American veterans, anyone who's gone to war to fight for their country. Utmost respect. It's just they shouldn't have happened. They shouldn't have had to go. That's the whole thing. And kind of the whole countries and, you know, it was propaganda. It's war propaganda. We're living through the same shit today. And it sucks. But, you know, once you're kind of outside the system looking in, it looks a lot different. So anyways, point is it's like, love Canada, but I hate how it's being run. And I hate what it's become. So sucks. But, you know, we're all humans. And I think once you can kind of remove the countries from things and the nationalities of things and the political side of the aisle and the skin color, once you can remove all that and strip all that away, you just see that we're all human beings and that's it. And it doesn't matter what color they are, what country they're from, what race they are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And then you might say, well, Jor, it kind of does matter because you shouldn't have just anybody coming into your country, which I agree with. I do agree with that. I think that if there's laws in place, you should obey those laws, follow those laws, enter legally with sufficient background checks, which both Canada, the US has, and the UK. The UK's probably got the worst end of the deal in the last 10 years. But Canada's pretty bad too. But I have zero issues. You know, if you come over here legally and you do things the right way, just like everybody else who's done it the right way, then that's fine. I would welcome you with open arms. But when you're doing it the wrong way, or your country's incentivizing people to come into your country to disrupt the culture of that country, that's a different kind of story for me. So really nothing to do with what we're talking about today. Just a shout out to Ireland. Ginger's here. Good morning, Ginger. Cheers, buddy. Cheers, buddy. And we got the captain. The captain is here. We got Jake, 21 Hats, says good morning. Sats and Sunsets shows up, buys a membership. Who got it? Jake, 21 Hats, membership from Sats and Sunsets. Thank you, Sats and Sunsets. Okay, so we got to update some. We got yesterday's too that what was I doing yesterday? Oh, it's up here. Got him. Easy peasy. So one membership. Yesterday we had a couple that I got to update to. Josh sent one in yesterday. Josh bought one yesterday, I should say. And so did Jenny. Jenny also sent a big zap that I didn't see until after the show. The Jenny zap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So shout out to Sats and Sunsets today for building some more castles, birthing some new rednecks over in Rumble. Jake, did you ask if it's Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. What the hell does that mean? Mark is here. Mark, Bob, Stewie. Actually, we had a couple people, including Mark, who managed to outsmart Zapstream yesterday. Mark was one of them. So shout out to Mark and Bob and Stewie. Jake says, I tip my hat to you, to Sats and Sunsets. Lauren's here on both. We got YouTube Lauren. We got Rumble Lauren. Good morning, Lauren. We got Duncan, LITF Bailey. Live in the future, says, good morning, Ducks. Cheers, Duncan. Micah's here. Micah. Wow, that coffee, that espresso is going to go down very quick today. I have a feeling. Need to pace myself. Abel Ramirez. Yeah, nice profile pic. New face in the chat, I think. Says, when the video description hits harder than the video itself. You mean the ducks? Or what do you mean? I don't know what that means. But you're gonna be happy with. Damn it! I promised you guys and girls a treat today, and I don't know if it's gonna work or not here. Well, we'll see. I thought it was already loaded, but it doesn't look like it. Shit. Shoot. Oh, frick's sakes. Damn it. Hold on. What happened here? What happened here to me? Oh, frick's sakes. What happened here? Oh, you son of a gun. Okay, well, I guess I'll try this again. Hopefully it'll work. Damn. I'm becoming a little bit too reliant on AI, maybe. I just kind of assume that it's just going to work, but I guess that's not the case. I should know better than that. I should know better. I do know better. It said it was working. It said it was loading. And then it just stopped. It said it failed. So let's try this again. I think it's going to take about 10 minutes, and it might not even allow me to do it now after I already tried it. Shoot. Okay. Let's try it again. Dang. Stripes is here. Good morning, Stripes. Good to see you. Eatable Zebra. Chuck is here. Chuck, I was giggling at you yesterday because we started the video yesterday for the digital homestead course, the very first session yesterday. And so I turn it on and I start talking and I could hear this kind of background. I'm like, okay, well, somebody's microphone's on. So I see it's Chuck's. So every time I said something, I could hear the echo in the background. So I saw it was Chuck's. He was the only one that was not muted. So I muted it. And I'm like, okay, well, Chuck probably wouldn't even notice. And I was like, how's everybody doing? And then I don't know if Chuck unmuted at that point to say like, doing good. But then I said something else right after because I wasn't really expecting people to come on and say, we're doing good. It was just kind of like, how's everybody doing? But anyways, then as soon as I say something again, Chuck's microphone's back unmuted. So I'm echoing again. So sorry about that, Chuck. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Okay. Generate the slide deck. I don't know if this is going to be, it looks like it's already changed everything for me. Frick. Oh, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how she looks. I might have to do it again tomorrow. We'll see. DuckDuckGo. So it sounds like there's a couple different variations of this. DuckDuckGo is one of them, but there's also DuckDuckGoose. I think it's the same game though. DuckDuckGo and DuckDuckGoose. Camille's here. Good morning. Camille says, love that intro. Isn't it the best? The crazy thing is I don't even know where it came from. So I kind of feel a little bit bad because I just like stole it, but nobody said anything to me yet. And they haven't taken it off YouTube yet. So it must just be open source intro. I don't know. I love it though. I get fired. It gets me pumped up for every show. Alex Jones talking about Magellan. Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. Okay, we got here they are. So yesterday we had a couple zaps that I missed. No, those are from Monday. Never mind. We had one from Maria. Maria 5K, she says, from Maria 5K. So we had a shot of espresso yesterday from Maria. We had one from Marco. And they disappeared again on me. We had Jenny's. And look at this, Chuck. Who got this one? Marco. Marco shows up with a duck and gets a membership from Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate that, man. We got Chuck with a memby, with a castle. Third time's a charm. Oh, this, I don't know if it's because this is loading now, but we're running slow here. J-Dog's here. Good morning, J-Dog. Bid Billy. Cheers, buddy. Good morning. Love the country, hate the gov. That's probably fair. Love the country, but also just love everybody. You know what I mean? Just love everybody. I think that's the best way to do it. David T says, where do I zap if Nostr feed not up? Yeah, Nostr's not pulling its weight today for us. I got right here, David T. If you can sort that one out, there it is right there. Duncan says, small the like. Small the like. Wake up and small the likes. Smash. Nick says, good morning. Let's have a great day. Amen to that. Frickin' A. Let's have a great day today. Why wouldn't we? Why the hell wouldn't we? Binary. There you go. There you go. Manuel. Is it Manuel or Manuel? It says study Bitcoin. That's what we're doing today. We're trying. Jenny's here. Jenny, hands off my sats. Looks like gifted a membership to David T. So David T is usually over in the Zap stream, but today he's over in the Rumbles. And Jenny didn't like the white in the chat. Jenny, Chuck, and Sats and Sunsets are all racists. They don't like white. They prefer red. So we got another redneck born today. David T 99. Not to be confused with Scotty 99. Kachok's here. Good morning. Good morning, Kachok. Chuck, Duck, Goose. Zenjamin, Ben is here. Good morning, Ben. Says Zap sent to Arnie. Thank you, brother. Oh, Arnie's phone's out there. I got to go get it in a second. Whistleblower's here with some spam. All right. Check on the pool. Get your swim trunks on. Get your swim trunks and your bikinis on. We're going to the pool. What pool? The frickin' mem pool. The frickin' mem pool. Get your water wings. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to get this banner off there. Let's get another banner up there, though. What should we put? We had some good banners going for a while. How about this one? Leave a thumbs up if you're enjoying the conversation. It's too soon to say. Too soon to say. But if you think that you're going to be enjoying the conversation today, how about that? And I like this one, too. This is a good kind of mentality setter for the day. We talk and think only of abundance here. If you have a tale of woe, please keep it, as we do not want it. Mempool today. Luxor Luxor with a nice big win there for the block height of 949,224. 949,224 blocks have been mined in Bitcoin history. That's Bitcoin's time. That's a clock. That's why we call it the time chain, not the blockchain. You could call it either, but we prefer time chain around here because it keeps the time. It keeps the time in Bitcoin. And the time today is 949,224. So we actually crossed another 1,000 blocks and didn't even acknowledge it. So the blocks are flying, and a little too quick. Some might even say we're ahead. We are 45 blocks ahead. So the average block time right now is 9.7 minutes. We want it to be 10. We want it to be 10. So when we're 9.7, that means the blocks are coming in too quick, a little too quick. So every difficulty adjustment here, every 2016 blocks, it's not based on days or hours or minutes, it's based on blocks. So every 2016 blocks, this difficulty adjustment resets. So when the blocks are coming in too quickly like they are right now, then we turn up the difficulty adjustment. I don't, you don't, nobody does. The code does. The protocol does. It makes it harder for the miners because we want it to be harder so the blocks slow down a little bit. The miners take a little bit longer to find the next block, and we slow that average time down. And that difficulty adjustment's been pretty effective through the years, as we can see here. Let's check it out. Ever since the very first Genesis block, the average time is 9 minutes and 37 seconds. I'd say that's pretty good. When you got the target of 10 minutes and the average block time since the Genesis block being 9 minutes and 37 seconds, I'd say we're doing pretty good. Couldn't do much better than that. So shout out to Bitcoin. Cheers. Cheers, Bitcoin. This is the real magic of Bitcoin, though. The difficulty adjustment is the real magic of Bitcoin because Henry Ford came out with the idea for an energy currency 100 years ago. So it's not a real new thing. But the difficulty adjustment is what really keeps things in check. Because if we had an energy currency, yes, it would be better than gold. Yes, it would be better than silver, and especially fiat. But as technology improves and energy becomes more abundant, we find better, easier, more efficient ways to generate energy, then the units would go up as well. Basically to infinity. So we'd have infinite number of units. As we generated more energy, we would also generate more units, which again would be better, but it's still not as good as Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a truly fixed supply. And because of the difficulty adjustment, it doesn't matter how much energy gets put into the Bitcoin network. It doesn't matter how much energy is being directed towards mining Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. The blocks will still be every 10 minutes because of the difficulty adjustment. So it's really the only thing that's immune from technology advancements. Bitcoin. Everything else, you create more energy, you become more efficient, technology improves, you can make more and more of it for cheaper and cheaper. Everything except one thing, Bitcoin. And it's because of the difficulty adjustment. That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason. And once you understand that, then you don't really see the need to own anything else. I mean, obviously you want to own things that you need, right? Like you want food, you want shelter, you want a vehicle, you want to have some fun. Maybe you want a nice laptop or a PS4, PS5. I don't know. I'm still in the PS3 era. That's the one that I have still. So I think we're PS5 now. You can buy one of those because you use it. But in terms of like store of value that you create, the only thing that makes sense at this stage is Bitcoin. That's it. And once you got a sufficient amount of Bitcoin, maybe you look at some other things, not because they're going to do better, but because you're going to use them, like land. Land would be a useful asset to acquire once you have sufficient amount of Bitcoin. Why? Because who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what the future looks like? And if you can kind of vertically integrate your own life in terms of your own water supply, your own food supply, with running water, with a garden, maybe some chickens, maybe some goats, then that's what you want to look into. But again, you're going to use those. Land is a great store of value, and you can also use it for things. But you got to get the Bitcoin first. And then once you get a sufficient stack, then maybe you look at getting some land. That's just my opinion. That's my investment advice. So SBI crypto, we just hit a block, 949,225. SBI crypto. I mean, whatever. They're mining Bitcoin. I shouldn't be too hard on them, but I just hate that word. It's just so tainted. It's just it's done so much. It's had such a negative impact on Bitcoin, crypto. Pisses me off. Anyways, we're at the Epoch V still. We're still at Epoch V. We're going to be there for another 2 years, but we're still going to talk about it every day because V is for Vendetta, V for Victory, V for Visionaries, V for Formation. The ducks fly in. Ducks fly together in a V formation. And also V for Epoch number 5. And with Epoch number 5, we have the subsidy of 3.125 Bitcoin. So that's the payment that the Bitcoin miners get every block. The total supply right now is 20.02 million, which is 95.37% of the 21 million. SBI Crypto got the subsidy. They got the transaction fees for the total reward of 3.1517. So shout out to SBI Crypto. A negative shout out for the name, though. Shout out for winning, negative shout out for the name. You got to rename that miner. The exchange rate today, if you got $1 US, you can trade that in for 1,255 Satoshis, rare Satoshis. They're kind of like, I would say Satoshis are kind of like Charizards, you know, like a rare Charizard, rare Pikachu. Same kind of thing, except you can actually verify. You can verify that it's real. You can verify the amount of them, but they're still rare. They're incredibly rare. In fact, there's only 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis that will ever exist-ish. I think the real numbers, I'm not going to try it. I could if I wanted to, but I don't want to. But that's what it is. You got $1. You trade it for 1,255 rare Satoshis. And kind of what we're going to be talking about today, if this loads, might be tomorrow. It failed. Why? Why is it failing on me? That's really annoying. I was so excited to talk about this today. Well, we'll see. I hit retry, so I don't know. We'll give it another couple minutes here, but I guess we're gonna call an audible because I have no idea what the hell I'm going to talk about now. With my slide deck has failed me. But if I know me, we'll find something to talk about. Anyways, you guys know the drill. You guys and girls know the drill. You trade 1 unit of trash, 1 unit of the worst money in human history for 1 unit of energy, 1 unit of finite energy, 1 unit of scarce energy units. The best money ever created. You trade one of those units, the worst money, for 1,255 units of the best money. That is a pretty good deal. We call that one the deal of a lifetime. So that is the time chain, the TC, Teddy City. That's what we got going on today. Okay, Caribre is here. Good morning, Caribre. Jenny says, of course, got to make you a red deck. Amen. Every time you say Jenny, I think of 867-5309. Yes, I'm that old. 867-5309. What's that song? I don't know why Jenny relates to it though. 867-5309. It's a song, right? 867-5309. I don't know what song it is though. I'm more of the generation of the 6-7, you know? 6-7. No, I'm not. I still have no idea what the fuck that means. And I don't ever plan on it. I don't ever plan on knowing what that means or caring what it means. I think that's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Although we came up with some pretty stupid things in my day as well. We had Jackass, though. That was my era. My era was Jackass. And one day, maybe, one day, maybe, if you guys ask me nice enough, I will show you the version of Jackass that me and my friends did when I was like 10. No, I would have been like 12 or 13. It's on YouTube. It's been on YouTube for like 20 years. So maybe if you guys ask me nicely, or I don't know, I'll show you our rendition of Jackass. That's what we did for like 4 years. Just like go to school. Okay, everybody gets together. Whoever can show up today, get out the camera. We had this camera guy who was probably about 10 years older than us. Really good guy, but he was deaf. And so we had to learn to kind of speak sign language. We had to learn how to communicate with him. He loved it. So he would show up with his camera. He was the only one that had a camera because we were like 12 and 13. And then we would just do stupid things. It was absolutely incredible. Some we took it a little bit too far in terms of messing with other people. But yeah, that was my era, Jackass. I did not tase my nuts. No. We didn't take it that far. We didn't take it that far. They were kind of lame. You know what I mean? Like when you're 12, you think that they're hilarious, but they're just kind of lame. Like we'd run our bikes into like a snowbank and flip over the handlebars. But yeah, the trailer's still on YouTube. Sometimes when we get together with those guys, we'll just throw it on. It's only like 5 minutes long. Freaking hilarious. So freaking hilarious. Okay, so now really I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about because my slide deck's not working here. And I want it because it's still generating, so it might work. I'm not very hopeful right now because it's failed twice already. But maybe we'll just call her a day. Just kidding. Just kidding. Should we? Probably, but will we? No. Okay, let's yeah, what if you guys got any specific comments or questions or discussions that you want to have? Today would be the day to do it. Today would be the day to do it. If you have any, I used to do like weekly Q&As, but it was always kind of the same questions over and over again. So I just kind of stopped doing them. But we haven't done it for probably a year now. So if you have any questions about literally anything, Bitcoin, AI stuff, living in the country, how to be a very subpar golfer. No, not subpar. What would you call it? Very, should be better, but isn't. What would you call that? So let's check on the chat. Come up with something. This one's gonna be for you. We're gonna dedicate this to you. And I might rug pull you too, though, because if this slide deck fires up, I'm gonna rug pull the Q&A today. But one thing I did, will tell you this. I'll tell you this because this is kind of something little inside baseball I've been working on here. So there's going to be kind of my main goal here is to really maximize the value of the Visionaries community. That's kind of my main focus right now. I just think that there's so much potential in that community. I'm very bullish on school itself. I think it's going to be kind of like the next big thing because it makes a lot of sense, right? Like I love YouTube. I love YouTube. The thing that YouTube is lacking is that there's no sense of community, right? It's just like a bunch of random people, a bunch of random comments. There's no community at all there. And what do people like online, especially these days? They like community. And so you could essentially take the parts of YouTube other than the discovery part of it, but you could put it on school where there's a whole community of people there who can interact and ask questions and come up with ideas and collaborate on things and share and learn and grow. You just can't do that on YouTube or Rumble. So I'm very bullish on school. But a couple of things I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing a weekly kind of check-in. And I'm actually going to do it on Wednesdays going forward, I think. And the check-in will be basically just kind of like a welcome to all the new members there for the week. Just kind of show them where everything is. But just like if there's anybody in the group who has specific questions, it'll be kind of like a Q&A for me. So if you're going through something, if you're setting something up or you're strategizing or planning something, you can just kind of hop in there. You can run it by me in the group and hopefully help. So it won't be very long. I'm thinking there'll be like 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes max. But that's kind of my plan going forward is I'm going to start doing that once per week. So we're going to have the Tuesday course, which we did yesterday. And then on Wednesday, I believe we're going to do like a 15-minute, 30-minute, just kind of weekly check-in. So I think that's going to start next week. That's my idea. So the new members can show up in there. They can say hello. They can, I'll kind of go through school, the platform itself, kind of what we're working on, some things like the Mighty Duck, some things like where to find everything, the course itself. So that's going to be starting next week in school. And again, you can join the school now for free. It wasn't always that way. You had to pay $21 to get through the doors, but now you can actually join for free. And kind of what I'm going to be doing with the school is like every 8 members that join, I'm going to be raising the price. So if you're thinking about joining, I would say the best time would be yesterday. The second best time would be today, because I bumped up the price a little bit today again for the premium members. So premium members get access to everything in there, including the oh wow, Kick also kicked me off today too. Wow, we're hurting today. But the premium members get access to the digital homestead course. So you can join the community now for free, and you can be part of the weekly check-ins with us if you want to. And the other thing I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start going through the thread itself, because in school there's like a community tab where people can make a post. And I kind of encourage people who are going through the course yesterday, kind of like to be the leaders of the group and to start sharing different experiences. And I just think that it's so incredibly valuable, because I think there's a lot of people out there who do these different things in Bitcoin throughout the day. Like they'll listen to a podcast, they'll download an app, they'll try it out, they'll have some issues with it, they'll fix it, and they're like, okay, well, moving on to the next thing. But I feel like there's a lot of value in actually documenting those things. So I think that the community tab on school is like the perfect place for that kind of stuff, to share that. And a lot of people think that it's kind of common knowledge that like, okay, well, if I know this, probably everybody else knows this. And that's just simply not the truth at all. Couldn't be further from the truth. And so what I'm going to start encouraging people to do is just kind of share their journey, document their journey in Bitcoin. You try out an app, you download a new wallet. What was the experience like? What issues did you run into? Would you recommend it to the group? And I'm also going to encourage people to leave their Lightning address at the bottom of the post. So everybody in school, in the community, is going to have their own Lightning address. And so if I see this post and I learn something from it, or I got some value from it, then I can just send them some sats very easily. No friction, nobody involved. So I just think that that's like the future. And I'm going to be completely, I mean, I always am honest. It's impossible to do 523 live streams without just being yourself, but I'm probably not going to be doing this forever. I think that the future is in there. So I don't really have a timeline on it yet. I've been thinking about it though. I don't think we're there yet, but there will come a day where this is just going to kind of end and it's going to all move over to the Visionaries. I just like it better. More community. There's no ads. There's no, you know, you're withdrawing, I guess, from the system a little bit. So we'll see. So it's pretty easy to find. You can just go to school.com/88 sats. And I don't know if I have a banner on that or not. School.com/88 sats. So if you're watching this later, you can just visit it that way. Very easy to find. Couldn't be easier. Or I'll put it on the ticker here. Wow, this is a little bit more advanced than it was before. Now I can set a timer on it. I can do other things as well. Cool. Love me some StreamYard. But the other thing that I will say, and I haven't really talked about this on YouTube yet, but I think a lot of people will be interested in it. So every Tuesday, if you're a premium member on the Visionaries community, you can get, you show up for the digital homestead course, which is focused on security, inheritance, the legacy aspect of things. So all the work you've done in your life, it's probably being stored in Bitcoin for the most part. You want to make sure that you can pass that on to your kids and their kids. That's the whole point, your legacy. So that's kind of like the main focus there. But at the end of every show going forward, we're going to spend about half an hour talking about how to make more money. The harvest part of the homestead course, the harvest, or the balance go up, I'm going to call it. Because you want to protect your sats, but you also want to make sure that you don't have to sell your sats or spend your sats. You want to position yourself so that you have more money coming in. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about. If anybody out there is interested in like starting a podcast or a blog or a platform like an Instagram or TikTok account or a school community or a YouTube channel, I know there's a lot of people in the community who have already done that or are thinking about doing it. And so we're just going to get together for like half an hour at the end of every session. And I'm going to share some tips, some things I've learned, some experiences I've had, what works, what doesn't work. And I think that that's actually going to be incredibly valuable for people. And the idea there is that people can start their own school community and document their journey, because there's a lot of people out there who will resonate with you that won't resonate with me. And there's really no limit, I don't think, on how many YouTube channels there is or how many school communities there is, because there's just so many people who need this information and are going to be looking for this information. And so we're going to dedicate a little bit of time every week to helping people with that, setting up a school community, what to put in there, how to get people to join, how to make money off it. And really, that's going to be one component of it. We're going to talk about a bunch of different ideas with that of really just how to make more money that you can convert into more Bitcoin, and so that your balance only goes up. So that's kind of the idea, that I'm hoping by the end of the year, everybody who's a premium member in there, they'll have way more money coming in than they pay to be in there, plus everything else that they get from the community. So that's the idea. That's the idea with it. And we now have 266 members in there. So it's it's growing pretty good. Growing pretty good. Visionaries is the future, truly. It's the present and the future. But yeah, I'm going to be dedicating quite a bit of time. I would not mind seeing everything centralized at the Visionaries. Yeah. Doesn't it make sense? Like, why would we keep feeding this? I mean, yeah, discovery is great, but like, how many people do we need? Really? How many people do we need? That was one of the notes I had when I was kind of thinking through this. It's like, we're going to keep raising the price. Eventually, the community will be unaffordable for people. But it's like, okay, that's fine. How many people do we need? We don't need everybody in here. We really don't. But we need the right people. That's how I see it. And that's how it's been from pretty much day one in Living in the Future, where you could have joined for like $5 a month. And it just gets, there's more added to it, more content in there, more people joining. It becomes more valuable. So you kind of combine that aspect of it becoming more valuable with the dollar becoming less valuable, and it only makes sense that it gets more expensive. So that's kind of what my plan is. To every 8 members who join, I'm going to raise the price by $1 every month, because we don't need 100,000 people in there. We just need a good group of people. It really doesn't take that much. So anyways, let's get through some comments here. We're going to do a little bit of a Q&A today. Actually, hold on. Still generating, eh? Interesting. No idea why. I wonder if I could do it on PPQ. No. PPQ, you can do a podcast search, deep research, but I don't think you can generate slides. Oh, I'll get that figured out. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, I got a lot of comments here to catch up on now. Oh, the song's called Jenny. Okay, 867-5309. The number is familiar to me. Like, I can hear it, but I don't have the right tune. And I didn't know the song was called Jenny. Relentless Acres is here. Relentless Acres says, good morning. Good morning. The best name in the chat, Relentless Acres. Also a new member in the Visionaries community. AK says we were in the 60s in 2021 and are in the 70s this year. Isn't it hard to be overly bullish given the 5-year trend? No. Is that a real question? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Wouldn't buying QQQ just be better at this point? No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point here. We're in the 60s in 2021. Yeah, okay, that's fine. 2021, there's no foundation. I kind of talked about this yesterday on the BTC Mastermind, but there was just way more uncertainty in 2021. Truly, I haven't been in Bitcoin since like 2012 or 2012 or something like that. But I've been here for 6 years now, and the progress that Bitcoin has made in those 6 years is really hard to wrap your head around. People just kind of go day by day, week to week. Doesn't really seems like much is going on. But again, you're paying attention to the wrong thing. The fiat price could not be any less relevant right now, unless, of course, you're living on Bitcoin. There's pretty much two people who are impacted by the price of the fiat price of Bitcoin. One is somebody who lives on Bitcoin. And so when you're spending your Bitcoin all the time, but you'd still be way up. You'd still be way ahead, even in the last 4 years. If you're DCAing, you would still be like 60% up. So don't just look at snapshots of time. Like we're in the 70s today, we're in the 60s in 2021. That doesn't matter. If you're DCAing, you're about 60% up right now in the last 4 years. But so the people who live on Bitcoin, they're impacted the most by this. Obviously, their purchasing power falls. But I mean, look at 6 months ago, their purchasing power was through the roof. So if you're doing this over the long term, it's going to the net average of that is going to be ahead. It's just this exact time, this exact day, it doesn't really feel like that, which is understandable. It's kind of hard to comprehend that. But if you kind of know what's going on here in terms of where this is going and the fact that there's only so many Satoshis available and that the demand for Bitcoin continues to grow every single day, same kind of thing. So the foundation is much, much stronger than it was in 2021. It went up to the 60s, but it was only there for like 5 minutes and then it dropped back down. But we've been like chopping around upwards for like the last 4 years. Like the foundation is much more solid now. So it's good. It's just we haven't really seen hang on a second. I'll be back in like a second. Something going on here.
There's two things that keep me bullish no matter what's going on. One, it's a 10x, more than a 10x improvement over its predecessor. I'm a gold holder and I'm a Bitcoin holder. And I can tell you, having used both, Bitcoin's better in every single way. Every single way. History shows that technology, as it evolves and we head to those 10x multiples, it takes over. And the second thing is, look at the quality of people who are Bitcoiners. Look at the diversity of their backgrounds. I'm a tunnel engineer. There's people who are doctors. There's like people come from all these like fascinating, interesting backgrounds, and they've all converged on the same thing, being like Bitcoin's like the best thing since sliced bread. You're telling me that all of these smart INTJ engineer types, they're all dumb and idiots? Like, no. The most bullish thing about Bitcoin is the people who get attracted to it. I'm not betting against those people. So many Bitcoiners came up and grew up in an era where the world hated Bitcoin. Every headline was negative. Every government didn't like it. It's getting banned, it's getting shut down. And yet we still formed enough conviction to be like, no way, I'm putting my whole life savings in this thing. We all formed a consensus that this thing kicks ass independently, whilst everyone was telling us that we were dead wrong, and we stuck to our guns. I'm sorry, I'm not betting against those people. They get it.
Who would? Who would bet against those people? I sure as hell wouldn't. But yeah, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense there. So yeah, I mean, even buying QQQ, it's like you don't really understand what's going on here. You're going to get a return in fiat terms. You're gonna buy something in the fiat system. You're going to support the fiat system. You're going to strengthen the fiat system. They're going to pay you in fiat. It's still going to be trapped in the system. If you want to move it or sell it or do whatever with it, you have to ask somebody's permission. If something happened and everything kind of reset, you probably wouldn't have that share to your QQQ. There might be 5 people who have the same shares you to that. You can't really leave the country without paying tax on that, exit tax or this tax. It's different. It's just different. And I really wish people better understood like how much freedom that Bitcoin gives you. Bitcoin in self-custody, how much freedom that gives you. And you don't get that with QQQ. You don't get that with strategy. You don't get that with STRC. So it's different. They're different things. So it really depends on what you value. If you want your ego to see your value going up every month, then yeah, QQQ might be for you. But if you want something that's truly scarce that you can hold yourself, that you can cross borders with, then you want Bitcoin in self-custody. It's really that simple. But many people miss it. What do you think the outcome of the Clarity Act will be tomorrow? Good question, Billy. I haven't really been paying too much attention to it, honestly. Same kind of thing. It's like they're coming. They're coming. And for me personally, I would much rather see it, I guess, accepted by the government versus fought by the government. Because as much as I'm like, oh yeah, well, if the government makes it illegal, I'll just use it anyways and go to jail. Nah, probably not the case. I'll probably get out of Canada, but I don't want to have to. So I'd rather see governments, the US is kind of leading the charge on this, but I'd rather see the governments be okay with it. I know they're going to want to do this and that and know who's doing this and that, but you can still do things privately. I think that's what, again, another thing that people miss. It's like, yeah, the control system, the surveillance system is increasing. It is. Even if you watch a movie or a video from 10 years ago, even, there wasn't fucking cameras on every block. There wasn't cameras on every doorstep. There just wasn't. And we've kind of done it to ourselves, honestly, but that's a whole nother thing. But like, you can still be private yourself. You can make the right decisions throughout the day in steps to make yourself more private and more sovereign. You have the ability, the tools are there. It's just nobody wants to do it. Everybody would just rather do things, sign in with Google. Because it's easy. You don't have to think. You don't have to waste any time. So I really, I don't know. I've kind of come to the point where I don't think the majority of people are going to adopt Bitcoin as like a freedom tool. I really don't. Because just people are so lazy. So lazy. And it's sad. It's sad. It really is. People would rather just have a free lunch than, ask why it's free. So, but that doesn't change my like overall outlook on things. Like I still think that Bitcoiners are going to be, the Bitcoiners are going to eventually kind of turn things around. What the world looks like by that point, I have no idea. But I do think Bitcoiners are eventually going to have so much economic power that they're going to have way more influence, and they can start to make change. I guess if the governments are still around at that point, I don't know. Point is, the reason why I'm so bullish about where we are right now is because even though most people won't use the tools are available for anybody who wants to use them. So that's kind of, and the number of people like me and like you who probably also value that, the number of us are growing. We're still never going to be the majority. And I think we should just kind of accept that, because we don't need to be either. And it's the whole thing's a balance. It's a trade-off. It's like, do I spend my whole life figuring out how to be completely anonymous and private? Or do I just live my life and spend my time doing things I enjoy versus, trying to figure out how I can access this website without anybody knowing about it? You know what I mean? Like there's a balance there, I think, that you need to strike. So anyways, in terms of the Clarity Act, they'll probably push it through. It seems like it's there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of momentum. There's a new Fed chair. Trump, Elon, and Jensen are in China this week. That's where things are going. That's where things are going. We're moving into a tech utopia. Go and look at Elon Musk's grandpa and what he was pushing for 70 years ago. Would it be 70 or 56? I don't know what it would have been. But he was basically outlawed because he was a tech utopian. So with tech utopia, there's good and bad, right? We're going to move into a much more decentralized system, but there's probably going to be much more surveillance. But even with that, you can still choose to be private if you want to. So I would much rather go down that road than a tech dystopia. The tech dystopia route, that's not what you want. If we didn't have Bitcoin, we would be going down the tech dystopia path. And that's kind of what the World Economic Forum wants. That's what Christine Lagarde wants. That's what Keith Starmer wants. That's what Mark Carney wants. But they're not going to get it. They're just not. So sucks to be them, but it is what it is. They're just going to kind of fade away into irrelevance. Jenny's phone number, 867-5309. Gotcha. Maverick. Look at this. I've got a lot of mixed reactions to this. Somebody's like, why are you bothering? Don't waste my time posting a $8 purchase. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. I'll post whatever I want to. How about that? But Maverick says, yo, Jor, we here for you, big dog. Appreciate your daily $8 updates. Speaking of that, maybe we should do one right now. Should we buy some Bitcoin? Everybody get your phones out and buy do a little team smash buy here. Let us know what you spent and what you got. I missed my shake streak yesterday because we didn't do our daily buy yesterday. But I bought on Saturday and Sunday, so I made up for it. I bought on May 9th, May 10th, May 11th. I missed the 12th, though. So I'm going to buy $8 worth of Bitcoin in honor of Maverick here today, just like we do every day, but we usually wait till the end of the show, but I'm going to do it right now. So there you have it. $8, 8 units of trash. I traded for 7,252 units of freedom. This will eventually find its way to my self-custody, where I can take it wherever the hell I want to go without anybody knowing that I have it. Well, ShakePay is a little bit different. We'll see. Maybe I'll find a way to not anybody know about it. We'll see. But that's what we got today, 752. So the fiat exchange rate has gone down a little bit today, and with that comes more real units. So I traded 8 units of the worst money in human history for 7,200 units of the best money in human history. That's a pretty good trade. So if you participated there, if you did a little smash buy with us, let us know what you spent in units of trash and what you received in units of freedom. But thanks for the nice comment there, Maverick. Generation the 69. Ginger, explain that. Are you talking about like the summer of 69? Or are you talking about the sexual position 69? Are you talking about generation of the 69, 6'9"? I don't know what that means. Oh, instead of 6'7", maybe. I see. 867-5309, Jenny, is a song written by Alex Call, Jim Keller, performed by the Kellers band, Tommy Two-Tone, released on the album Tommy Two-Tone 2. We like Titty City, yes, we do. Tom Green, what the heck does that mean, Buck 52? My kid's thing was to drink a gallon of milk and throw up. Ugh, jeez. Joras, yeah, it was something like that. Okay, we covered that one already. I don't know if AK is just spamming us. Spoonful of cinnamon. Oh yeah, that was a nasty one. I remember those. Those were nasty. I don't think I've ever done that. Spoonful of cinnamon. Maybe I did. Ben says, Jackash, we did the same thing. Same shit. Pile in a shopping cart and have someone push it into a curb and everyone goes head over heels. Carnage. Yeah. We did the same thing too. That was Jackass was a lot of fun though. Look at this. Buck 52 got a membership from Sats and Sunsets. SNS, another point on the board, another Memby. The Smith, Sats and Sunsets, the Smith, the Castle Maker. Okay, how's our notebook doing here? Will we do it? Oh, we got it. Should we do it? I think we'd be crazy not to. Okay, but I got a lot of comments to get through here. Well, maybe we'll buzz through them. We got Arnie here even. Arnie boy. There he is, folks. There he is. Welcome, Arn. I need an Arnie cam, I think. I need an Arnie cam. Okay, so we'll buzz through the chat here. We'll see what Arnie's up to. We'll get through the chat, and then we'll watch it. Oh, AK says, "Got to go. Catch you later." Didn't even hear it. Spent freaking 10 minutes answering his question. Oh well. 21 views. We got 28 right now on YouTube. We got a lot in Rumble. 45. The Rednecks, 46. Oh, what was that, Arnie? Arnie might have just farted and left. He literally farted and left. You're kidding. Arn, you're kidding. I even got the window open in here. God, it's nice. It is freaking nice. Ginger's at the lake today. Love that. Oh, sorry, Ginger. Look at that. We got sunshine today. I'm going to spend some time outside, I think. I deserve it. This body needs some sunshine. This body needs some sunshine. Yeah, cities. Oh, hey, Joshua, I saw your post the other day. You're going to the Canadian Bitcoin conference. I just might be going. We might do a Maple Bitcoin meetup for invitation, the Maple Invitational. Josh will obviously be at the top of the list. Lauren says you just need the right people. Exactly. Somebody walk in the background. Oh no, was I getting robbed? Shit. Who's going to oh, look at this. Hotto Humbly. What is that? Sneakers, orange sneakers. Like that. Good morning from Maine. Maine, US. Where's Maine? Every time I see Maine, I think of the Mighty Ducks. There's a guy from Bangor, Maine. Who was it? The Puerto Rican guy, I think. Adam Banks? No, not Adam Banks. The guy who was really fast. I forget. Who's going to Camp Nakamoto? Never even heard of it. Nick, I missed a comment from you here. Where was that? Yeah, I missed a lot of comments. What the frick? Oh, I just blew past like 20 comments. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have a longer show today because I want to get through this. I kind of sewered myself here. It's my fault. I sewered myself because I said we're going to do a Q&A, and then the frickin' notebook was done. Let's talk about the dividend dollar and Bitcoin backing and how that plays out. Oh man, that's a whole show, I think, Nick. That's a whole show, man. That's incredibly exciting though to me. The dividend dollar. Actually, hold on. You guys can kind of check it out yourself if you want to. I feel like I did a show on this not that long ago. But I noticed something here recently. I think it was G Money who pointed this out. Look at this. So this is the national debt clock here. I think most people are aware of this. But what most people miss with this is there's a secret window here. There's a couple things. So you can download the free book. There's been a bunch of free books. Maybe we'll check this out. No, we already have that one. New Money Revolution, where it basically talks about the dividend dollar. But look at this. This is interesting here. This is very interesting. So the total cartel asset forfeiture liability, 23 trillion. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? Total cartel asset forfeiture liability. This just popped up here this week. 23 trillion. So I have a theory, and I'm not going to talk about it today. Maybe I'll talk about it on a private show sometime. But I have a theory that kind of relates to this, and basically how much money and wealth and capital and time and energy has been stolen from the average people. It would be around this number. But I have this theory that it's all going to be repaid somehow. I don't know exactly how it plays out. But if you follow the last 10 years, and really how much has changed, and it's crazy to think about, because when you think about like the last 10 years and all the events that have played out, a lot of people kind of have this real negative lens towards it. They're like, there's purple hair, there's kids pretending to be cats, there's assisted suicide, there's all these things happening around the world, migration into countries. But that's kind of like the micro level. If you look at the macro level of what's happening, there's something much bigger at play here. And all these micro things are just kind of like distraction. But there's something much, much, much bigger at play right now. Not a lot of people not a lot of people talk about it. Not a lot of people can see it, but there is definitely something happening. And it definitely involves the administration in the US right now. If you look at some of the things that have happened and how those interactions went, and even the fact that if you watch the video, I was watching it this morning, but of Air Force One pulling into China and what kind of reception they received there. Watch it. If you got some time today, watch that video. It's very poor quality, or the one that I saw anyways, but of Trump, of Elon, and of Jensen from NVIDIA. You look at the reception that they received in Beijing this morning, or tonight, I guess it'd be in Beijing. There's something bigger happening. Hardly anybody sees it. Maybe I'm crazy. Who knows? But there's definitely something much bigger at play. And the globalist world that everybody thinks we're being ushered into is being absolutely dismantled. And it's being done by the US, it's being done by China, it's being done by Russia, it's being done by the UAE. And I don't know if you want to call it coordinating or not, but they've basically given a huge middle finger to the globalist agenda, the UN. And they've been doing it like persistently, right in everybody's face. But people still just kind of think that, because Klaus Schwab said something back in 2021 that this is inevitable now, we're screwed, because Klaus Schwab has all the power. But that's my thoughts on it. Is there's something much bigger happening here. So anyways, where this came from is you can go to usdebtclock.org. You can open the secret window. You can download the free audio or the free book, and you can find out about the dividend dollar. And you can kind of form your own kind of opinion on it. The hell happened there? Maria 2500 today. She says, Jor, I sent a few sats to your Riz wallet. No zap stream today. Maria 5K. God, I love Maria. Maria, I got yours yesterday too. I'm gonna check on the Riz here. Happy Jormore. Is that like Happy Gilmore? Looks like Sin's here. Looks like Scotty's here. Is Zapstream working now? I don't know. Because Scotty's here. David T is saying good morning. We must be live on Zapstream. Duncan even sent in a DCA today. Look at that. The most consistent DCA. Duncan. The DCA today is 3762. Thank you, Duncan. Jenny also sent a Jenny Zap. Jenny. This is going to be called the, this is going to be in tribute of Camille. What's the number now? We're going to call this the 867-5309 Zap. That's the Jenny. The Jenny, the eights. I'm going to have to memorize that though. 867. Maybe I'll listen to that song like 50 times today. 5309. So thank you, Jenny. Huge shout out to Jenny. I see a shot of espresso here. I'm going to assume that that's from Maria. I see another shot of espresso here from Chuck. So shout out to Maria. Shout out to Chuck. Thank you very much. And we got some other ones in there. I appreciate it. Are we live? I don't know. We must be. Doesn't show though. Oh well. I'd say Zapstream. Let me know if you can see it, but I can't see you. So. Okay, I got to buzz through some comments here. There's some great questions here. Great questions here. I'm actually gonna go through these questions after the show today, if I have time. There's Joshua right there at the gym, so I'm lurking. No problem, Josh. Have a good workout, buddy. Oh man, there's some good questions in here. Frick. What level of Bitcoin do you think is the beginning of generational wealth? Brian Harrington says 21 million sats, for example. I mean, it depends. People, including Brian, who will tell you that there's a number that you need to get to. And, you know, I've been guilty of this myself. I've really stopped doing it, though, because it's too clickbaity for me, because you can make an argument for anything. You can make an argument for any number. Like, I really think that if you were, let's say you're 5 years old today, and for your 5th birthday, your parents got you 1 million sats, 0.01 Bitcoin, and you hold on to that for 20 years, like, you're done. You don't ever need to worry about money. But for somebody who's 60 or 70 years old, like 1 million sats isn't going to do anything for you. 21 million sats probably isn't going to do anything for you. So I don't know. I've kind of steered away from that because it's just like, number one, it's pure clickbait. It works, but like, I don't know. What do you get from that other than some views? You know, I don't know. Not to shit on him or anybody who does that, but it's just like, I don't know. It's not a really deep conversation. But the other thing too there is, it's like, okay, get this much to retire. Well, what does retirement look like to you? Do you still want to be working? Do you need income? Can you just live off of that? Also, why are you striving for just the minimum? Why not strive for the maximum? How much Bitcoin can I get? That's what people should be asking themselves. Not what do I need to retire? How much Bitcoin can I get over these next 10 years? That's the question people should be asking. And it's not to say that you need to spend your whole life, every waking hour, like, you know, grinding your ass off. That's not what I mean. It's just like, realistically, based on how much income I have every month or every year versus the price of Bitcoin versus my expenses, what can I get to? And then you at least have like something to work towards. Not just like, what's the bare minimum that I need to retire? Because what are you going to do? Sit on your ass all day and watch Netflix? Like, that's not a life, no matter how much Bitcoin you have. Okay. I'm just going through some things here. I missed all these. Yeah, it just makes more sense to me. It just makes more sense. Adam, Lori, good morning. VHF's here. Good morning, VHF. Okay, we got some conversation here. There's Sin Deezy. Good morning. We did ourselves by buying the stocks that fund the surveillance. Yes, amen. And by putting a frickin' live cam on everybody's door. We definitely did it to ourselves. Okay, I'm trying to kind of filter through the conversation here. Okay, so Nick spent some. We got 12,000 sats. Kachok got, look at this PHP. What's PHP, Kachok? Philippines? 300 for 6,000. Wow. I mean, it's still a good trade, right? No matter what the fiat currency is and what you're paying, it's still a good trade. That, you know what I mean? Mark got 18,000. Nice. Very nice. Scotty Boy got 100K. Flight point sats. Nice. Rich got 34K. Look at that. That's the strongest currency here. AK, I thought you were gone, man, or woman. But that's it. Definitely need an army cam. I thought about it. Okay, he's back. AK, I answered your whole question there, man. Or woman, but that's it. Yeah, Arn's in my bad books right now. He crop dusted me hard. Look at this, Jenny. Jenny purchased a membership for Mr. Intentional. That's an interesting name. Mr. Intentional. Welcome. Are you a subscriber over in the Rumbles? Because I get notifications. I don't get that on YouTube, but I get it on Rumble. I like when there's new subscribers over on Rumble. It makes me happy. Gordon Bombay, Maine is our northeasternmost state. Oh, is it Gordon Bombay that was from Bangor, Maine? I thought it was the fast guy. I forget his name now. He was in Sandlot. Matt's here. Matt FRL. Good morning. Paulie says, I live near the airport, Jordan, attending the... Yes, nice. Nice. Paulie D will be there too. He'll be part of the... He'll be part of it. Buck52 says, racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organization. So basically what they're pointing towards there is the Federal Reserve, which is crazy. Wow, we got 60 people over in Rumble. God bless. God bless. What does this mean? The government made RICO as an illusion of the top criminal cartel policies itself. Not sure what that means. RICO things is the assets. The RICO thing is the assets that are in process being obtained by the feds. There's something there for sure. There's something there. Hey, look at this. Jerry Loves Freedom says Zapstream hasn't worked for the last couple of days. Jerry Loves Freedom, JLF, the man himself in the chat. What's going on, Jerry? I told Jerry, I don't know if it was last night or the night before. It might have been last night. I said, he said he's been missing the show because he's been sleeping in. I said, get your ass out of bed, Jerry. We got shit to do. We're not sleeping in. We'll sleep when we're dead, man. Okay, got you, David T. Okay, I did see it in there. Thank you, man. BTC Pleb says Brian Harrington is the GOAT in Bitcoin. You should have him on as a guest. I mean, I like Brian. I definitely wouldn't call him the GOAT. I could think of probably 100 people that I would call the GOAT ahead of Brian. Good guy, but he's still pretty entrenched in the real estate world. And I don't know. Anybody who's still like buying real estate, holding real estate, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. So maybe it's just him and I don't really see eye to eye. He's a good guy. I've talked to Brian before. We had him on Maple Bitcoin one time, but I definitely wouldn't call him the GOAT. Oh, this is a good question. My mom is getting a huge settlement. I might dump it in a stretch for her, or should I acquire a whole coin? It really depends on, probably for your mom, if she's going to be relying on the income, I would recommend STRC. Sad to say, but you know, if she's relying on that income, you want something that's a little bit more stable. That's what Stretch is. It's more stable, right? Like it's a guarantee. I know it's not guaranteed, but it's guaranteed 11% right now. Especially if you already have some Bitcoin in cold storage, STRC, because then if she's living off it, then she's going to have to sell her Bitcoin. You're going to have to go through the whole process of that. And I don't know. I think in that specific situation, STR would actually make more sense. If you don't have a lot of Bitcoin right now, though, in cold storage, then maybe half and half, something like that. It doesn't really have to be 100% to zero. But whatever debate them, I don't know what I would debate him about. Oh, think Brian is right. You need, I don't think so. I would debate him on that. We kind of did on Maple. I don't think real estate is a good investment. I just don't. I think it's a good investment if you're going to live there, right? Like if you find your dream property with a bunch of land, some running water, and in a country that you're comfortable being in, I think real estate's a great investment. I don't think it's a useful, I don't know what you'd call it, like a store of value or an income generating. I'd rather just hold STRC than real estate. I mentioned this to Brandon yesterday. He was talking about buying more real estate or getting back into real estate. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just buy STRC? And I get that there's tax advantages maybe with real estate and you can kind of, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy. Like if you love real estate and you're like really handy and you don't have to pay people to do things and you just enjoy doing it, then yeah, maybe. But like for me, when I had a rental house, it was a nightmare for me because I didn't like finding tenants. I didn't like having to call somebody on New Year's at 2 a.m. to fix the toilet backed up. Like it's a headache. And real estate to me is incredibly, and this is what I think both Brandon and Brian would probably disagree with me here, maybe. But real estate is incredibly overvalued. It's gone up and up and up and up since 1971 because that's when people started using it as a store of value. It was the best store of value from 1971 to 2009. But it hasn't really caught up yet. And I think that as more and more people figure out Bitcoin, find products like STRC, a lot of that capital is actually going to flow out of real estate. Like the people who are holding real estate as a store of value or an investment, a lot of that money is going to flow out of real estate and into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's incredibly undervalued and real estate is incredibly overvalued. So in terms of like an investment, real estate's a joke compared to Bitcoin, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm not going to say it. I think he's a good dude. I really do. I like him. It's just we disagree with that. Yeah. Well, Jenny needs to get to 1 million sats before she can zap 8 million sats. My question was about retiring, but rather generational wealth. Your kids are taken care of, and you can build on to what you started. It's an impossible question to answer. I feel like a broken record sometimes, but I also realize that there's new people in the chat and watching the streams. So it really depends on your age. It depends on your lifestyle that you have, like how much expenses you have. Because if you had 10 Bitcoin, but you spend, $50,000 a month, then that's not going to last very long. So it depends on your age. It depends on your lifestyle, and it depends on what you have coming in. If you're a doctor and you make $50,000 a month and you spend $50,000 a month, then Bitcoin's probably going to be pretty good for you because you don't have to spend what you're making. But if you're not making any income, your Bitcoin's not going to last very long. So those are the three things, and everybody's in a different spot. Everybody's a different age. Everybody has a different lifestyle. I have a very simple lifestyle here. Like I hardly spend any money. I buy things that I need and that I think will actually improve my life. And other than that, I don't really buy anything. So I have a very cheap lifestyle, and it kind of was forced to be that way. I wasn't always like that. But like when you leave your job and there's no guarantee of any income coming in, you really have to pay attention to what you're buying. And Bitcoin really changed my whole view on that too. Like I used to be a big time consumer because dollars didn't really mean anything to me. So I just, as soon as I got them, I would spend them. But Bitcoin's changed the way I save money. Because there's actually a reason to, Okay, I don't know if we're going to get through this chart today. We might have to save it for tomorrow. There's too many comments here. Not that it's a bad thing. I asked for it, but that's been my mindset shift since I joined this community. Nice. Add value, convert to Bitcoin. There you go. 5 Bitcoin is generational wealth. Well, Probably. Philippine peso, that's what I thought. Brian has a good content and solid theory and strategy. Plubinator's asking some stupid questions today. I don't know if this is a real guy or a bot or what, but do I think Lynn Alden is a hot woman? I don't really want to answer that question. Like how would that add value to anybody's life by me answering that question? 300 PHP is about 5 US. Oh man. Mr. Intentional said I wasn't subscribed. Okay, good man or woman. I'm guessing man. Brian Harrington gives me a headache. This is going to be I'm just going to put a face of Brian's on the thumbnail today. We spent a lot of time talking about Brian. Ben Cowan is the GOAT. Oh man. I'd probably put 1,000 people ahead of Ben Cowan as a GOAT. Andreas Antonopoulos is the GOAT. I would agree with that one. It'd be a toss-up for me. I think Saylor's probably the most known one. Andreas probably gets a lot of credit for the work that he did in the early days, and deservedly so. But not the average person doesn't know who Andreas is. So Saylor's the most mainstream GOAT for sure. Like Saylor's orange pilled so many freaking people. And that's why it bothers me when people give him such shit. It's like, do you understand what Saylor has done for Bitcoin? Andreas would be like the most well-known within the Bitcoin as the GOAT. But I think that the most underrated one would be Gigi. Gigi to me is the GOAT. He the most underrated. So I'd say Saylor's probably the most overrated GOAT. Andreas is deservedly so GOAT, and Gigi is the most underrated GOAT. But Brian nor Ben would be in the conversation for me. Yeah, real estate sounds good until you experience it. Exactly. Sin says real estate equals dealing with other humans and their bullshit. Been there, done that. F that. J-Dog says I got 9,800 sats for about $6. Yeah, the quid's going far. If you need income, a person should probably be working a job if their assets can't maintain them monthly. Exactly. If you're investing, the only asset for the future is Bitcoin. Bingo. That's a good way to put it there. Bitcoin nurse, good to see you. Taxes, insurance, piss poor renters ruin real estate. I mean, that's part of it. But like the other thing too for me was like, let's say that, things went good for me, right? I had good tenants. They were paying me every month, which doesn't always happen. And especially these days, you don't have good tenants and they don't pay you. But let's just say that I had good tenants and they paid me. And I was making some money. Okay. Let's say that I had a real estate property for 10 years. They were paying my mortgage. I came out a little bit ahead. Maybe I even bought some Bitcoin with the profits. But then in that time, my roof deteriorated. And all of a sudden I gotta put a new roof on the house. Okay, so what does a roof cost these days? What's a roof cost these days? $40,000. So I made a little bit. I paid off a little bit of my mortgage. I bought a little bit of Bitcoin, but now I got to come up with $40,000 to replace my roof. And the worst part about that is that it doesn't improve the value of the house. Right? Like you build a deck on your house for 20 grand, it adds value to the house. Everybody just expects to have a working roof. So you spend $40,000 on a new roof and you get nothing back for it. You just basically wasted all of the profits that you made for the last 10 years into this new roof that really added no value to the house because people expect to have a functioning roof. So that was the big one for me where I was like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. This is just a game of cat and mouse. It feels like you're making money for a little while, but then reality slaps you in the face and you're like, okay, this is plus people don't factor their time into it. right? It's like you might say, well, this property nets $500 a month, but does it? How much time did you spend finding a tenant? How much time did you spend calling people to go repair it or repairing it yourself? How much time did you spend on the phone with your tenants because their dishwasher's leaking? Like, people don't factor their time into this stuff. How much time did you spend going through the financial statements at the end of the year so you could give it to your accountant? When you factor in your time, real estate is not a good investment. And I don't think anybody would change my mind on that, honestly. I keep an open mind about a lot of things, but I've experienced it. I've been through it. It's a nightmare. Lauren said, some guy on the internet with the handle 88 sats told me Jor was the GOAT. Some guy with the internet handle 88 sats. I would never call myself the GOAT. If that's what you mean, I would never. I think highly of myself. You have to, otherwise you're not going to do very well in life. But to think of yourself as the GOAT, that's next level, like, craziness. Especially if you ask, like, you know, if you took a random poll of 100 people in Bitcoin, maybe 5 of them have heard of me. Maybe. So I don't have the intention of being the GOAT. My intentions are helping average people. My main mission is to make sure that everybody who's part of the community, their sats are safe, their legacy is passed down. That's it. Really that simple. Really that simple. It's dropping again. We already bought. Damn it. Adam Back is the GOAT. Interesting. I mean, he did actually contribute to Bitcoin, so there's an argument for that. The BTC GOAT is obvious. Why isn't it? Satoshi. Yeah, but Satoshi's in a different league. Satoshi's in a different league. Parity with my currency is within my lifetime, so it changes how I view Bitcoin. Amen to that. Parity with my currency is within my lifetime, I would say. Dorsey is up there for me. Yeah, Dorsey has done a lot for Bitcoin. I don't know if I call him the GOAT though, but yeah. So some might even argue that Dorsey is Satoshi. I can make that argument. Do I think he is? I don't know. But Dorsey bent the knee to the administration trying to destroy Bitcoin. I think there was more to the story than that. I think that was like the people's reaction to it. In terms of what happened, I think Jack took a lot of flack for that, but I don't think anything that happened there was in his control. I really don't, because he might have been the CEO, but the CEOs don't really have the final say. It's the board of directors that have the final say. So I think a lot of that was out of his control. Dorsey, and also here's the other thing too. This is kind of off the rails a little bit, but I think that there's been a lot of things that have happened in the last 10 years that, like, we see, and that's not really what happened, if that makes sense. Like, I'm still under the overlying theory that, again, going back to like the globalists versus the nationalists, I really think that that's the war that's being fought, the real war. And a lot of people have seen like the globalists winning these little battles along the way, but I really think that some of it was intentional. Whether Dorsey was part of that or not, some of it was intentional to really wake people up. And did it wake people up? I don't know. I think so. Like if you talk to, the average person 10 years ago wouldn't have had a clue what the Federal Reserve is. If you talk to the average person 10 years ago, they would never have questioned the pharmaceutical industry or known what's really happening in Hollywood and the music industry and in politics, really, and the media. Everybody just kind of, there's a small group of people who didn't trust those institutions, but majority of people did, including myself. I never really liked the government, but I didn't think they were out to harm me. But that's all changed. And so whether some of these things that happened were intentional or real, it really doesn't matter. It woke a lot of people up. And the biggest thing for their system to continue working is to remain in the shadows. And they're out of the shadows now. They're like a cockroach. You got a flashlight. Cockroaches love the dark. But when you get a flashlight on them, they just fucking scatter. They don't know what to do. And that's really what's happened. There's lights being shone. There's flashlights being shone in this corner, in this corner, in this corner. And they're just scrambling around. And it's like a whole facade, but it's like you can't unsee things. So that's the trend. That's the trend we're living through right now. And so, you know, whether Dorsey was part of that or not, or did it on purpose, I don't know. But it woke a shitload of people up when all of a sudden you were saying things and you got banned for doing it. AK, sorry, man, I'm out of time today. If you got a question, you can send if you really want a question answered, you can send a zap or a super chat. Yeah, we got the maximum today. George John Galt. Oof, I don't know about that one. That's also pretty high praise. 5 out of 5. What's that mean, Jenny? 5 out of 5. What did I miss? 5 out of 5. Jenny, what you talking about? What you talking about? Hal Finney also up there. Yep. No, we never really got to know Hal though. He was kind of he didn't. I wish Hal would have stuck around longer. No doubt about that. Out of Shadows, documentary. That, you know, the crazy thing about that, Sin, you probably know this, but that was the documentary that really opened my eyes. That's where I knew, okay, I've been lied to a lot. That was the fuel to my fire. That documentary, Out of Shadows. That was the one. That I always think back to that, is that's the one that really set me on a different path. When I didn't realize how much evil was out there. I was very naive, I guess you'd say. I didn't realize how much evil was out there in the world and how much fake praise and, you know, what they got and why. It's just like that. But that's the thing that really started the whole journey for me, was the Out of Shadows documentary. Five out of 5 people you poll will know you, maybe in this community, but not like out in the broader Bitcoin. Lauren says, just giving you a hard time, but I've gotten more influence and education from your stuff over the years. Visionaries, Maple Bitcoin, and the other stuff you have introduced to me. I appreciate that, Lauren. I'm glad. That makes it all worth it to me. Truly. Like, that's why this whole channel started. I had no intention of having a YouTube channel. I just wanted to help people with not losing their Bitcoin. That's what the whole mission for me has been. And it is still to this day. Because I know the feeling. I've lost Bitcoin myself. I've talked to people who have lost Bitcoin. And it's the worst. It's the absolute worst. And so instead of like waiting for it to happen, when Bitcoin's a little bit different, right? You lose your Bitcoin, nobody's there to save you. There's nothing you can do at that point. So you have to be more proactive about it. You can't be reactive to loss in Bitcoin. You have to be proactive with it. So that's why the channel started. That was the very first episode, was me talking about some security vulnerabilities for 10 minutes and hitting the road. And look what we've evolved to. Kachok says, where do you watch Out of Shadows? There's right there. outofshadowsdoc.com. That'll change your life. I mean, probably not. Probably not. The things you watch, if you're watching my channel right now, it's for a reason. And not like by a divine reason, but because, you know, you think a little bit differently than most people. Otherwise you'd be like, okay, this guy's a fucking maniac. What am I doing here? But you probably are aware of the things in this documentary, but at that point in my life, that's what really fueled me. It wasn't even Bitcoin at that time either. I don't think it was like, oh, I got to get out of the system. I got to buy silver, which eventually led me to Bitcoin. Oh man, I'm getting hot. I'm going to go outside, I think. Yeah, there it is right there. outofshadowsdoc.com. That's a crazy one. But again, probably at this point, you're going to watch that and be like, okay, yeah, I knew that. It'll still really shake you, I think, but not to the level that it shook me. Because you got to keep in mind, this is back in like 2020, I think, when I watched this. And that was tough. Because at that time, I watched that and I was like, oh my God. Who do I talk to about this? I had nobody in my life that I could talk to. I had no friends that I could talk to. I had no family because it was just such a weird topic to bring up. You know what I mean? I remember I mentioned to my mom, we were at the cabin one day and Ellen DeGeneres was on just playing in the background. I'm like, you know that she, I don't want to say it here, and she like started crying. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't do this. So I was really tough for me. I didn't have friends I could talk to. I didn't have family I could talk to. I didn't have a YouTube channel where I could come on and spill my thoughts. It was, those were the toughest years of my life by far. Nightmare. But, it was the best and the worst, because the worst in the sense of like how painful it was for me. And you mix out with, everything that happened in 2020 and, my personal relationships. But it was the best because it led me right here. And I couldn't think of anything else that I would want to be doing every day. So it was the worst. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. The best of times. It was the worst of times. Nick, you got some good questions, man, today. You should shoot me an email with all your questions, because I feel like they're going to be good topics for the future at some point. I guess we're not going to. I guess we're not going to go through the slide deck today. We'll do it tomorrow. I do want you to join the community, though, if you haven't yet. Because, again, that's kind of where everything's trending towards. Everything's trending towards the community. Some point, we're going to be over there exclusively. But you can join for free now. So if you've been watching, if you've been enjoying, if you kind of like the vibe of this show and the live chat, consider joining. And like I said, I've had it here the whole time. You just got to pass the test. You just got to pass the 3 questions. If you can get by through the filter, you're in. Some haven't. We got 12 people who are waiting to be through the filter. And I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, another 2-hour show. And at like the 40-minute mark, I'm like, okay, well, we don't have our slide deck. What are we going to talk about? But you guys showed up today. You guys showed up with some really good questions. Nick, I'm just going to answer this real quick. Do I think the U.S. government will ever try to confiscate Bitcoin? I don't. I don't think that they'll try to do it with a favorable administration. I don't think they'll try to do it with unfavorable administration. I think Bitcoin's come too far. Bitcoin's too ingrained. You know what I mean? Like when you understand who really controls the flows, when you understand who controls the flows, they'll never do it. They can't. I mean, even if they did, it would probably be something like the gold confiscation and the gun confiscation, where they're like, okay, we're going to confiscate everybody's gold, we're going to confiscate everybody's guns, but you got to come to us. You got to voluntarily do it. And like Bitcoiners have been through this for so long and kind of expected this for so long and have everything in place. What would you do? What would you do if your government wrote a law that said we're confiscating everybody's Bitcoin for a matter of national security? What would you do? Would you do it? It would be like the gold confiscation. It'd be the exact same thing, which of course we think back to now as like a turning point. But it's different though. This is different because you can't really interact in society with gold. Gold's also physical, which is part of our freaking slide deck today, which makes it easier to steal. A lot of people think that Bitcoin's not good because it's not physical, but that's actually its superpower, is the fact that it's intangible. So it's very difficult to steal. It would be very difficult, I think, for them to pull this off. And I just don't think it's in their best interest, right? Like, what Trump tries to confiscate Bitcoin, and Larry Fink's like, what are you doing, Donnie? You know, that's who really runs the world, is the capital, not the laws. Real power versus abstract power, which means the Bitcoiners are actually going to have the real power. Everything else is going to be abstract power. Never forget. Yes, no doubt, man. A lot of people have, though. A lot of people have. Amen, Maverick. Amen. Okay, I got to go, folks. I got to go. Lauren says, give school a try. It's been worth it for me. Yeah, there's a lot of people who have had some really good experiences there. Do you think Team Satoshi could be time travelers? Yeah, I do. I do. But it's not like time traveling in the sense of what we would think of, like hopping into a portal and going back to 2001 or to 2060. Time travel is a little bit different than that. Off the exchanges. Oh, yeah, maybe. It may be. Like if there's let's say a Democrat wins the next election somehow, I don't think that's even a possibility. But if they did, that would be something. I could see that. Appreciate you. I like that. Appreciate you, Joe. Enjoy your day. You too. A couple more zaps to report here, and then we're going to do a little update, and then we're going to hit the road, and we'll do this tomorrow. I sewered myself. My bad. Somebody sent in 5-1 a shot of espresso. I don't know who it was though. It said, set yourself and your family up life. Set yourself and your family up life. I don't know what that means, but I like it. So, I think I know what you're trying to say there. And what do we got here? Is this a Sharon B zap? No, Praetorian. Wow. Praetorian stealing Sharon B's zap. Look at this. He said, Jor, thanks for everything. Super busy today listening in the background. God bless you all. Kind regards, Praetorian. With a Sharon B zap today. I like that, Praetorian. She would love that. She would love to see you doing that. But I don't know who sent the other one there. 5139. Who is that? Cheers, buddy. Okay. YouTube, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday show. I guess I'll just have to title the show the same thing tomorrow. Same thumbnail. I'll change it. It's going to be the same kind of thing, but I'll change it. But we're going to go through this slide deck here. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I'll give you a little sneak peek here because I kind of feel bad, but it is what it is. We had some really good questions today. I may should do this more, but maybe that's what our check-ins will be for on school. And keep in mind here, those check-ins that we do, it's going to be available to everybody. So it's not just going to be for premium members. It's going to be available to all 266 members in there. So this is what it's about. Rewiring the mind for hyper-Bitcoinization. 4 mental models for the future of value. Upgrading the sovereign mind to master absolute scarcity. Whew. That's going to be a good one tomorrow. Okay, so YouTube, I'm going to cut you off. We're going to hop over and we're going to update the leaderboard here. So thanks, YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow.